going to talk to you today about is to understand how Twitter can help you more with a learning-based event. So this could be conferences, this could be within even the classrooms. I know that World Business Forum kept posting tweets before the event, letting you know that there are places you can go to actually meet the people who are speaking at the forum, to get connected way before the event even happened. And then there's the during event. So organizers use Twitter to keep attendees updated on last-minute changes, uploading of photos, anything that's going on, and link to blog entries as well. And then concluding that, there's the after-conference which organizers use Twitter often to thank the attendees, post reflections, promote upcoming conferences, and gather information and gather feedback from the attendees. Attendees of the conference send their tweets between 11 and 20 messages per day. The main reason to the tweets were to share resources and communicate with other attendees. Tweet about an event if you aren't attending. So this attracts, the at-home followers. Engaging with people who are present in the event will have a higher response rate than just retweeting the events. And finally, talking to the brands. Engaging with the conversation with your brand on Twitter can not only help you achieve visibility, but also help other followers of that brand to benefit from your content. In the classroom, I guess what I want to say here is that it's a what I'm saying though is that you can actually get engaged a lot more with using Twitter. What I want to just really briefly talk about here is the emphasis of creating an event hashtag. Keep it short and simple. The more engaged you get, the more conversation you get. Conversation's huge, especially at a conference, right? Like you can agree. So by creating a dual conversation, meaning you could be talking to the person beside you in the conference, you could also be talking to somebody on Twitter. It's huge. So just create the conversation. That's definitely something you want to do. Host a live stream. Create the buzz before the event.
Well, we've come a long way since the 70s, obviously, from radio, black and white, and everything like that, to nowadays where we can actually watch television live streaming on our mobile devices right on the bus. Now it's crazy because back in the day, it was considered a one-way conversation. The whole event to have wireless internet set up throughout the entire event. And what they did is they actually have giant massive screens on each side of the stages to display the whole Twitter feed, exactly how we're doing here, except times it by a million more or less the size of the screen. You couldn't miss these things anywhere. It was incredible in the fact that people were not only using it to just comment and rave about the acts that are on stage, but actually use it to find out about the event. For example, how it makes you a weapon. So the crazy thing about Occupy Wall Street is, even though it was an event that was going to happen regardless, Twitter and social media had a huge part in it. In regards to organization, for the rallies, for news feeds, for updates, it's incredible. For example, people in New York are knowing what's going on about people in Baltimore. It's used as a communication tool, as well as the 99% now have their voice heard globally around the world, instead of just at that one particular area. For example, us in Kingston, where we have an Occupy Kingston, it's quite small. However, by having Twitter, we can now have our voice heard in Occupy New York. Called the Tweet Walk. And what it is those early innovators and adopters and followers of Burberry actually had exclusive access and treated as VIPs to actually see the Burberry lineup for the Burberry show coming up on December 6th before it actually gets aired live on television. So they're actually getting exclusive content and exclusive access for following them. The reason why this is very important is because by showing that loyalty to your followers and to those supporters, odds are they're probably going to support you twice as much by either mentioning your brand, building it in with their family, or purchasing it for that matter, because we all know Burberry is a little bit more expensive. However, by doing this, you might have perceived some people to go and purchase your product. Well, The Talking Dead is really innovative and kind of neat of what they did. They created an after show, but the after show is it's kind of driven the same style as like The Hills and The OC was and all that. But it was a little bit more engaging in the fact that the content itself was, they didn't have predetermined questions. It was actually determined by their Twitter feed, by the online site that they have, talkingdead.com, and by phone-ins. But a majority of it is taken the questions is taken directly from the online website and their Twitter feed. It's really interesting because the fans can actually interact directly with the actors, the writers, the directors, anyone who's involved with the series, and ask their own personal questions, possibly get hints on plot development and everything like that.
Thank you so much for coming to our presentation today. We really enjoyed having you guys here.